Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to defy time, living into their 90s or 100s with energy and joy, while others struggle just to reach 60? The answer isn't in a miracle cure or some far-fetched secret. It's in the small, daily habits we choose. Today, I'm about to reveal 13 simple yet powerful habits that could not only add years to your life, but fill those years with vitality and meaning. Take a look at places like Okinawa, Japan, where people are not just living longer, they're living better. These regions, often called blue zones, hold the key to longevity. And the good news? You don't need to pack up and move across the world to unlock these secrets. You won't find extreme diets or grueling workout routines here, just straightforward, doable habits that anyone can adopt. In fact, the last habit on this list is so simple, yet so profound, that it might completely change how you approach your life. Get ready, because once you learn it, you'll want to start practicing it right away. So are you ready to discover how you can live not just longer, but better? Let's dive into these 13 timeless habits. But before we begin, if you find value in this content, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Rise Up and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on life-changing wisdom. Now let's get started. The first habit on our list is so simple that you might already be practicing it without realizing it. Have you ever thought that being in shape requires hours in the gym or running marathons? Well, prepare for a surprise that could change your entire perspective. Let's talk about natural movement. Yes, something as simple as staying active throughout the day. The centenarians of Okinawa don't have gym memberships, yet they are in better physical condition than many who live in bustling cities. Their secret? Constant, natural movement woven into daily life. Imagine your body is like a well-crafted tool. If you leave it unused for too long, it begins to rust and lose its purpose. But if you use it regularly, even for small tasks, it remains sharp and effective. This is how the body works. The Okinawans incorporate movement into their lives in simple, natural ways, whether it's tending their gardens, walking to complete daily tasks, or practicing Tai Chi in the parks. You don't need extravagant exercise routines. Just stay active. Did you know that simply getting up from your chair every hour can increase your life expectancy? A study from the University of California found that people who move frequently throughout the day have a significantly lower risk of premature death. Who would have thought something so simple could have such profound effects? But don't worry, we're not suggesting you turn your workplace into a gym. Small, mindful changes can make all the difference. Consider these simple adjustments. Park your car further away and walk the remaining distance. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Dance while doing household chores. Bonus points if you turn up the music. Make phone calls while standing or walking. Play with your children or pets at the park. The trick is to make movement a natural part of your life, not an item on a to-do list. Think of it like adding spices to your meal. Small, subtle enhancements that make life more flavorful. And here's the beauty of it. Natural movement benefits not just your body, but also your mind. Research shows that regular physical activity improves mood, reduces stress, and even boosts creativity. Who wouldn't want to feel happier and more creative? So the next time you feel guilty about not going to the gym, remember, every step counts. Every stretch, every spontaneous dance in your kitchen, every game with your dog at the park, it all adds up to a longer, more fulfilling life. Natural movement is like a long-term investment. Small, daily deposits that accumulate over time to yield tremendous returns. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment or extraordinary skills. Just your body and the will to keep it moving. Let's now move on to the second habit. Find your Ikigai. Have you ever wondered what your reason for being is? While that question may seem overwhelming, it holds the key to this habit. Ikigai is not the name of a new sushi dish, although it does come from Japan. The concept of Ikigai roughly translates to the reason for being, or the reason you get up each morning. It's the sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for intersect. But why is it so important? It turns out that having a purpose not only makes you happier, it can also extend your life. A study from Rush University in Chicago found that people with a strong sense of purpose were 15% less likely to die prematurely. Who knew that finding your passion could quite literally be a matter of life or death? Now, before you panic and think you need to discover the meaning of life before dinner, breathe. Finding your Ikigai doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, it's probably already within you, waiting to be uncovered. Let's try a simple exercise. Grab a piece of paper and draw 4 overlapping circles, like the Olympic rings, but with one less. In each circle, write the following. 1. What you love to do. 2. What you're good at. 3. What the world needs. 4. What you can get paid to do. Take a moment to pause the video, complete the exercise, and then come back when you're done. I'll wait for you here. Finished? Great. Now look at where those circles intersect. That intersection could be your Ikigai. Maybe you realize you love cooking, you're skilled at it, the world needs healthy food, and you can get paid for it. Boom, you've found a clue to your Ikigai. But don't worry if you don't uncover it immediately. Ikigai isn't something you discover overnight. It's more like a plant that grows over time. Sometimes, you just need to start doing what you love and see where it leads. The Okinawans, those masters of longevity, have an Ikigai that often goes beyond work. For some, it might be caring for their grandchildren. For others, it's practicing a traditional art. The important thing is that it gives them a reason to get up every morning with enthusiasm. Here's the best part. Your Ikigai can change over time. You're not tied to one purpose forever. As you grow and evolve, so too can your purpose. It's like having multiple seasons in the series of your life, each with its own exciting theme. So the next time you find yourself feeling stuck, ask yourself, what excites me? What makes me lose track of time? These questions may be the first steps toward discovering your Ikigai. Remember, it's not about finding the grandest or most impressive purpose. It's about finding something that makes you feel alive and useful. It could be as simple as making someone smile each day, or as complex as solving climate change. The important thing is that it motivates you, giving you a reason to engage with life fully. Now, let's move on to the third habit, reducing stress. Have you ever felt like your mind is about to explode from stress? Don't worry, you're not alone. Stress is like an unwelcome guest who arrives unannounced and overstays their welcome. But what if I told you there's a way to show that guest the exit door? Yes, I know what you're thinking. Easier said than done. But don't worry, we're not going to suggest you retreat to a cave in the Himalayas, although that does sound tempting at times. Chronic stress, however, is like a silent thief that robs us of precious years. Studies show that prolonged stress can shorten our telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of our chromosomes that guard our DNA. When these telomeres shorten, our cells age faster. It's as if stress presses the accelerator on our biological clock. But don't despair. There is hope. In fact, the residents of the blue zones, regions in the world where people live longer, healthier lives, have mastered ways to keep stress at bay. And no, it doesn't involve taking a permanent vacation on a tropical beach, although that wouldn't be a bad idea either. In Okinawa, for instance, they practice Tai Chi or Qigong. Imagine slow, fluid movements, almost like a graceful dance performed in slow motion. It may seem unusual at first, but it's remarkably effective at calming the mind and relaxing the body. On the Greek island of Ikaria, they have another surprising technique, the nap. Yes, you read that right. Taking a short nap after lunch isn't just acceptable, it's practically mandatory. It's as though they've built a reset button into their day. Now, before you start planning your move to Greece, let me share a few techniques you can apply without needing to pack your bags. 1. Mindful breathing. Take a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. It's like giving your nervous system a gentle massage. 2. Connect with nature. Spend time outdoors. Walk barefoot on the grass or even hug a tree if you're feeling brave. Yes, it might sound like a cliche, but nature has a profound calming effect on our minds. 3. Practice gratitude. Before bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as having enjoyed a delicious cup of coffee that morning. Gratitude is like putting rose-colored glasses on your mind. 4. Unplug. Turn off your electronic devices at least an hour before bed. Social media will still be there tomorrow, I promise. Remember, reducing stress isn't about eliminating all of life's problems, if only it were that simple. It's about changing your relationship with them. Think of it like learning to surf instead of fighting the waves. And who knows, over time, you might become an expert at riding out the storms of stress with grace and resilience. Habit number 4, the 80% rule. This simple concept, known in Okinawa as hara-hachi-bu, is so straightforward that you could begin practicing it with your next meal. But what exactly does it mean? Imagine your stomach as a gas tank. The Okinawans, masters of longevity, have the habit of filling their tank only up to 80%. In other words, they stop eating when they feel satisfied but not completely full. Now, before you start calculating percentages on your plate, let me explain why this habit is so important. It turns out that it takes about 20 minutes for the body to send a signal of satiety to the brain. When we eat until we feel full, we are often exceeding our actual needs. But what are the benefits of this practice? First, eating less not only helps maintain a healthy weight, but also reduces the stress placed on our digestive system. It's like giving your body a break, allowing it to focus on other essential tasks like repairing cells and fighting the aging process. Studies have shown that moderate calorie restriction can increase longevity and lower the risk of chronic diseases. It's as though by eating less, we give our bodies the space to function more efficiently. But implementing this rule doesn't have to be complicated. Here are some practical tips to help you integrate hara-hachi-bu into your daily life. 1. Use smaller plates. It's a simple visual trick, but it works. A full small plate can make you feel as though you're eating more than you are. 2. Eat slowly. Savor every bite. Chew well and take breaks between mouthfuls. This gives your body time to register when you're truly satisfied. 3. Drink water before meals. A glass of water 30 minutes before eating can help you feel fuller with less food. 4. Listen to your body. Learn to recognize the difference between being satisfied and being full. Satisfaction is that point where you are no longer hungry, but you could still eat if you wanted to. 5. Eat without distractions. Turn off the TV, put away your phone, and focus on your meal. You'll be more aware of how much you're eating, and you'll enjoy the food more. Remember, this habit isn't about starving yourself. The goal is to eat enough to nourish and satisfy, but not to the point where you feel uncomfortable or overly full. Here's an interesting fact. In ancient Rome, there was a person known as the Whisperer. Their job was to stand behind diners at banquets and whisper reminders not to overeat. Imagine having someone constantly reminding you to eat mindfully. Thankfully, you don't need a whisperer to practice hara-hachi-bu. With a bit of attention and practice, this habit can become a natural part of your life. You might even find that eating less makes you feel lighter, more energetic, and healthier in the long run. Before we move on to the 5th habit, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy this type of content as much as I do, leave a comment saying, "I love knowledge," along with your age. Let's continue learning and improving our lives together. Habit number 5. Let's talk about meditation. I know what you're thinking. Meditation? Isn't that just for monks and hippies? But let me tell you, this habit is more powerful than a double espresso on a Monday morning. Meditation is like a gym for your mind. Imagine being able to train your brain to stop spinning like a hamster in a wheel. Sounds appealing, right? Well, that's exactly what meditation does. And the best part? You don't need any special equipment or an expensive subscription. Just you, your breath, and a few minutes each day. But don't worry, you don't need to become a Tibetan monk or shave your head. Just a few minutes of meditation a day can calm that restless mind of yours, which often feels like a monkey with maracas. Can you imagine being able to mute the constant mental chatter that never seems to leave you alone? Meditation is like pressing the mute button on that internal noise. Before you dismiss this as too new age, let me share a secret. Some of the most successful people in the world practice meditation. Did you know that Steve Jobs, the genius behind Apple, made time in his busy schedule to meditate? Yes, even amidst building his tech empire, Jobs found value in simply sitting and breathing, and look where his focus and creativity took him. But Steve Jobs wasn't the only one. Oprah Winfrey, Hugh Jackman, and athletes like Kobe Bryant have all attributed part of their success to regular meditation practice. Coincidence? I don't think so. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I don't have time to sit and do nothing. Well, what if I told you that just 5 minutes a day could make a noticeable difference? Yes, just 5 minutes. That's less time than you spend scrolling through Instagram while sitting in the bathroom. Don't pretend you don't do it. We all do. Meditation isn't just about relaxing. It improves concentration, reduces stress, and according to some studies, may even help you sleep better. It's like a multivitamin for your brain, but without the unpleasant taste. And the best part? You can start today. You don't need a fancy app, a special cushion, or even a perfectly quiet place. You can meditate on the bus, at your desk, or while waiting for your coffee to cool down, so you don't burn your tongue. So here's a challenge for you. Tomorrow, when you wake up, before you grab your phone and dive into the chaos of the day, take just 5 minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. Inhale, exhale. That's it. If your mind starts to wander, and trust me, it will, just gently bring your attention back to your breath. It sounds simple, but let me warn you. It can be frustrating at first. Your mind will try to convince you that you have 1,000 more important things to do. But resist the urge. Over time, this practice will become easier, and the benefits will become clear. Habit number 6, sleep well. Have you ever considered that the secret to living longer might be hidden beneath your bed sheets? Welcome to the world of restful sleep. No, we're not talking about becoming Sleeping Beauty, but it's close. It turns out that the centenarians of the blue zones don't stay up late binge-watching shows into the early hours. They understand that good rest is just as important as a balanced diet. But why is sleep so crucial? Well, think of your body like a factory. During the day, everything is operating at full speed. But at night, the real maintenance happens. If you don't give your body enough time for this process, it's like driving a car without ever changing the oil. The result? A mechanical breakdown, or in our case, a biological disaster. The famous psychologist William James once said, "The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook." And staying up all night is definitely something we should overlook. So how can we improve our sleep without spending the night counting sheep? Here are some tricks that even Morpheus would approve of. 1. Establish a sleep schedule. Your body loves routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Yes, it might sound dull, but your body will thank you for it. 2. Create a nightly ritual. Whether it's reading, meditating, or doing gentle stretches, this routine sends a signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. 3. Turn your bedroom into a cave. Dark, cool, and quiet. If your room feels more like a bear's den than a nightclub, you're on the right track. 4. Avoid screens before bed. The blue light from electronic devices is like a shot of espresso for your brain. Unless you want your brain to party all night, turn off your devices at least an hour before bed. 5. Be cautious with naps. A short nap can be refreshing, but going too long is like stealing hours from your night. Keep your naps under 30 minutes to avoid disrupting your nighttime sleep. Remember, sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The next time someone tells you that sleeping is a waste of time, you can confidently tell them you're investing in your longevity. Who knew that resting could be so good for your health? Habit number 7, a plant-based diet. Have you ever considered that the fountain of youth might be on your plate? Well, brace yourself, because this 7th habit could change how you view food forever. Ready to give your life a green turn? No, we're not talking about transforming into a giant rabbit, but about learning from the people in the blue zones who seem to have unlocked the secret to defying time. In these regions where people live longer and better, their typical dish is more of a vibrant vegetable rainbow than a carnivorous feast. Coincidence? I don't think so. Studies have shown that a diet rich in plants can reduce the risk of chronic diseases and boost longevity. It's as if every bite of vegetables is a small shield against aging. But don't worry, we're not suggesting you turn into a broccoli hermit. The key here is balance. the inhabitants of blue zones follow a diet that's approximately 95% plant-based. And the other 5%? Well, let's just say it's for keeping a sense of sanity, perhaps enjoying an occasional barbecue. Now, before you start imagining a diet more boring than watching paint dry, let me share something interesting. Did you know that the Greek philosopher Pythagoras, aside from being a mathematical genius, was also a staunch advocate of a vegetarian diet? Yes, the same guy who puzzled you with his theorem believed that eating meat clouded the mind. Perhaps that's the secret to his brilliance. But let's return to the present. Incorporating more plants into your diet doesn't have to be a Herculean task. Here are some simple ways to get started. So easy even your cactus could follow them. 1. Start with Meatless Monday. 1 day a week, make your meals 100% plant-based. It's like giving your digestive system a mini vacation. 2. Add an extra vegetable to each meal. Simple but effective. 3. Swap your snacks. Trade in the chips for hummus with carrot sticks. Your palate and your waistline will thank you. Experiment with plant-based milks. There are so many options, you could make an advent calendar out of them. 5. Adopt the colorful plate philosophy. The more colors on your plate, the more nutrients you're consuming. It's like painting a picture, but edible. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making small changes that add up over time. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, it is not things that disturb us, but our opinion of them. So instead of viewing vegetables as a punishment, how about seeing them as a ticket to a longer, healthier life? The next time you're at the grocery store, take a closer look at the produce section. Who knows, you might just find your next source of superpowers hidden among the spinach and tomatoes. Are you ready to add color to your life and years to your calendar? Habit number 8. Wine and friends. In the blue zones, those regions of the world where people seem to have discovered the secret to longevity, wine is more than just a drink. It's a social ritual, one that could surprisingly add years to your life. But before you rush to uncork that bottle you've been saving, let's take a closer look at why. Moderate wine consumption, especially red wine, has been linked to various health benefits. The antioxidants in wine, like resveratrol, are associated with improved cardiovascular health and increased longevity. But the key word here is moderate. We're talking about 1 or 2 drinks a day, not clearing out your wine cellar every night. As Paracelsus, the father of toxicology, wisely said, the dose makes the poison. In other words, the difference between a remedy and a poison is in the quantity. However, wine is only part of the equation. The other half, arguably the more important part, is the social connection that comes with it. In the blue zones, wine is not consumed in solitude in front of a screen. It's enjoyed in the company of others, as part of a shared meal or lively conversation with friends and family. Did you know that strong social connections can be just as beneficial to your health as quitting smoking? Studies have shown that people with robust social ties are 50% more likely to live longer than those with weak relationships. Every laugh, every story shared, and every meaningful connection is like a small deposit into your longevity savings account. So, how can you incorporate this habit into your life in a healthy way? Here are some ideas. 1. Host regular dinners with friends or family. It doesn't have to be elaborate. The company is what matters. 2. Join a group that shares your interests, whether it's a dance club, book group, or anything else. It's a great way to meet new people and keep your mind active. 3. If you drink wine, enjoy it with food and good company. Savor the flavors and the conversation, rather than focusing on the alcohol itself. 4. Practice the art of the after-dinner chat. Linger a little longer at the table after a meal, savoring the moment with friends or loved ones. 5. If you don't drink alcohol, that's okay. The wine itself isn't the point, it's the social connection. A cup of tea, juice, or any drink can serve the same purpose. Remember, this habit isn't about turning every gathering into a party. It's about cultivating meaningful relationships and enjoying life's simple pleasures with others. So the next time you find yourself with a glass of wine in hand, surrounded by friends, know that you're participating in one of humanity's oldest and healthiest rituals. Who knew something so enjoyable could also be so good for you? To health and long life, friends. Habit number 9, practice generosity. Have you ever considered that the key to receiving more from life might lie in the act of giving? No, we're not talking about emptying your wallet at every street corner, but something far deeper and more transformative. The ancient Stoics, those bearded philosophers with wisdom for almost everything, already knew this truth. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, once wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." In other words, what you give to others, you give to yourself. And it's not just philosophers who say this. Modern science agrees. A study from the University of California found that people who regularly practice generosity have lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol. It's as though each act of kindness is a gentle massage for your nervous system, easing tension and promoting well-being. Before you start thinking that you need to be a billionaire like Bill Gates to be generous, let me share a secret. Generosity is not measured in dollars, but in intention. It can be as simple as offering a smile. Yes, even with a mask on, it shows in your eyes, helping a neighbor with their groceries, or simply lending an ear to a friend in need. What if I told you that being generous could actually make you wealthier? No, I haven't lost my mind. A study from the University of Notre Dame found that generous people tend to be more successful in their careers. It's as if the universe has its own version of financial karma. By giving freely, you invite abundance into your life in unexpected ways. So, are you ready to put this powerful habit into practice? Remember, it's not about how much you give, but the intention behind your actions. Whether it's a small act of kindness or a moment of compassion, the ripple effects can be profound. And who knows, you might discover that true wealth isn't found in your bank account, but in the smiles you bring to others and the lives you touch. In giving, we find the deepest riches of all. Habit number 10, reading. What might have felt like a punishment in childhood could now be your secret to longevity. Well, almost. It turns out that bookworms have an edge over the rest of us. Recent studies have shown that adults who read regularly live, on average, 2 years longer than those who don't. 2 years. Imagine everything you could accomplish with that extra time. Perhaps finally learning to juggle or catching up on that show you've been putting off. But reading doesn't just lengthen your life, it enriches it. As the great writer Jorge Luis Borges once said, "I have always imagined that paradise will be a kind of library." He wasn't wrong. Reading is like traveling the world without leaving your chair. It's living 1,000 lives in one. Now, don't worry, you don't have to become a scholar overnight. Starting is as simple as opening a book. Remember that book you've been using as a paperweight? Yes, that one. It's time to dust it off and give it another go. And if you think you don't have time to read, think again. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world, spends 80% of his day reading. If he can do it while managing a financial empire, you can certainly find time between episodes of your favorite series. Reading isn't just a hobby, it's a workout for your brain. Think of it like going to the gym, except instead of lifting weights, you're lifting ideas. And the best part? You don't need fancy gear or an expensive subscription. So, if you want to live longer and live better, add reading to your daily routine. Start small, 15 minutes a day will do. It could be before bed, during your commute, or while you wait for your food to cook. Little by little, you'll notice your mind expanding, your vocabulary improving, and who knows, you might even become the life of the party with all the interesting stories you'll have to share. Remember, every page you turn is a step toward a longer, more fulfilling life. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, reading nourishes the soul. So what are you waiting for? The next chapter of your life is literally waiting for you in the pages of a good book. Habit number 11. Get out of your comfort zone. Imagine your comfort zone as a cozy, safe bubble. It sounds appealing, right? But here's the catch. Inside that bubble, there is no growth. It's like trying to build muscle without lifting any weights. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "We dare not do many things because they are difficult, but they are difficult because we dare not do them." There it is. The secret to overcoming fear is to face it head on. Remember when you were afraid of the monster in your closet as a child? You avoided it until your mother opened the door, revealing nothing but a pile of crumpled clothes. Fear often works the same way. It fades when confronted. Now, don't worry. We're not suggesting you jump out of a plane, unless you want to, of course. Growth begins with small steps. How about starting with something simple today? Try that exotic dish you've always been curious about. Or even better, strike up a conversation with the neighbor you've only ever exchanged glances with. Who knows? It could be the beginning of a great friendship, or at least a fun story to share. Psychology tells us that when we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, our brain releases dopamine. It's like a mini adrenaline rush, but without the need to run from a bear. And with every little challenge you overcome, your confidence grows. It's like leveling up in a video game, but this time, it's your real-life courage that's advancing. A study from the University of Texas found that people who regularly step outside their comfort zones report higher levels of life satisfaction. It's not just motivational talk, it's biology at work. So the next time you hesitate to try something new, remember the words of the great philosopher Nike, just do it. Or, as your grandmother might say, he who does not risk, does not win. And if things don't go according to plan, well, at least you'll have a good story to share at the next family gathering. Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So get out there. Do something that scares you a little every day. You might discover a new talent, make a new friend, or realize that you're braver than you ever thought. And that, my friend, is worth more than all the gold in the world. Habit number 12. Disconnect from technology. Have you ever felt like your phone is a magnet and you're the metal drawn irresistibly to it? Yes, I know what you're thinking. How will I survive without my precious smartphone? But don't worry, I'm not asking you to throw it out the window. Although tempting, isn't it? Even the greatest thinkers in history understood the importance of disconnecting, and they didn't have to deal with Instagram notifications every 5 minutes. Seneca, the Roman philosopher, wisely said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Now let me confess something. I too find it hard to fully disconnect. After all, these videos I create to help you require technology, and I do it gladly. But I'll share a secret. Those rare days spent at the beach with friends or family, free from the constant pull of my phone, feel like an oasis in the desert. They remind me there's a rich, vibrant world beyond the screen. And it's pretty amazing. But what do modern experts say? A study from the University of California found that just having your phone near you, even if it's turned off, reduces cognitive ability. It's like your brain is on call waiting all the time. Can you imagine living like that? It's like having a noisy roommate in your head, constantly interrupting your peace. So, how do we begin to disconnect? Don't panic. You don't have to become a technology hermit overnight. Start small. Try leaving your phone in another room during meals, or set a digital curfew an hour before bed. Not only will your sleep improve, but you might rediscover the simple joy of reading a paper book. And if you need extra motivation, consider this. Psychologist Adam Alter found that the more time we spend on screens, the more it correlates with our unhappiness. Want to be happier? You already know what to do. The last habit, laughter. Have you ever wondered why children laugh around 300 times a day, while adults barely manage to laugh 20 times? It seems we've forgotten the art of laughter, don't you think? Well, our final habit is simple but profound, laughing. Yes, you heard that right. Laughter isn't just for fun, it's a powerful tool for your well-being. Did you know that the philosopher Epictetus once said, "If you want to be happy, be..." I'd add, if you want to be happy, laugh. And it's not just philosophy. Science backs this up. Studies show that laughter reduces stress, boosts the immune system, and can even relieve pain. It's like a workout for your soul, but without the sweat. Here's a challenge. Try to find something funny in your everyday life. It could be that dog with a quirky hairstyle you saw on the street, or the face you make when you try to open a stubborn pickle jar. Humor is everywhere if you look for it. And if all else fails, there's always one of my bad jokes. Why do divers jump into the water backward? Because if they jumped forward, they'd land in the boat. I know, my jokes are getting worse. But here's the real magic. All these habits we've talked about, Sleep, purpose, movement, laughter, they're not just separate ingredients. The real transformation happens when you combine them, like creating a secret recipe for longevity. Restful sleep gives you the energy to maintain your routine. A steady routine makes space for play and laughter. Laughing and playing help you find your purpose. And having a purpose motivates you to slow down and enjoy the journey. These habits work together like musicians in an orchestra. Each one has its role, but together they create a symphony of well-being. The result? A life that is longer, happier, and more fulfilled. So, the next time you're tempted to stay up late, skip your routine, or take life too seriously, remember these habits. They aren't strict rules, but invitations to live in a way that has worked for generations in the blue zones. Ready to incorporate these secrets into your life? You don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Maybe today, you go to bed 30 minutes earlier, or spend 5 minutes laughing with a friend. Remember, the path to a longer, happier life isn't a race, it's a dance. And now, you have all the steps to dance it your way. If you've made it this far, write "long and happy life" in the comments, so I know who the true victors are. Those who stuck with me until the end of this journey. I can't wait to hear your stories of triumph, so don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. I hope to continue creating more content like this, and if you'd like to support the channel financially, you can become a member and enjoy exclusive benefits. The link is in the pinned comment. Now I recommend you check out these 2 videos right here to keep learning about Stoicism and human psychology. See you in the next one.